Yo, what's up, legends? Welcome back to Big Blitz Gaming. Today, we're breaking down the 5 signs that you might be a clutch god in Call of Duty Mobile, especially when it comes to one of the most intense game modes out there, Hardpoint. If you've ever had to solo hold a hardpoint against a full squad, or clutch the last seconds to turn the tide, then you already know how high the pressure can get. So if you want to level up your clutch game and dominate those final moments, stick around. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks. And let me know in the comments which video you want to see next, whether it's loadout guides, map strategies, or more clutch breakdowns. 1. You stay ice cold under pressure. Hardpoint is a mode where chaos rules. The zone moves every 60 seconds, enemy teams swarm in waves, and there's always someone watching your back. But when it comes down to the final hill, with 30 seconds left and the enemy team flooding in to break your hold, that's when clutch gods really separate themselves. You don't panic. While other players might throw themselves at the point, missing shots or over-peaking, you stay calm. You know that losing your cool means losing the hill, so you slow your breathing, control your movement, and take smart fights. You prioritize survival because every second you stay alive equals points for your team. Ice-cold focus under pressure isn't just a skill, it's a clutch god's mindset. 2. You outsmart the enemy before you engage. In Hardpoint, the difference between a clutch and a wipeout often comes down to map awareness and prediction. You don't just charge into the hill blindly. Instead, you watch rotations, listen for footsteps, and predict where enemies will come from next. Maybe you bait a push from one side, then rotate quietly to catch the flankers off guard. Or you throw a smoke grenade to block vision, forcing enemies into your crosshairs. You use audio cues and minimap info to read the battlefield like an open book. While the enemy is rushing the hill in a chaotic swarm, you're calmly positioning yourself to isolate one fight at a time. Outsmarting your opponents means you rarely get caught off guard, and that's how clutch plays happen in Hardpoint. 3. Your loadout is built for survival and control. Hardpoint demands a loadout that balances aggressive firepower with survival tools. Clutch gods know this well. You're not just picking the flashiest gun, you're building a kit to hold the hill. Fast recover keeps you in fights longer, letting you heal between enemy pushes. Ghost keeps you off UAVs so enemies don't predict your rotations. Dead silence lets you move quietly between hills or around flanks without giving your position away. You probably run smoke grenades to block vision when you need to rotate or defuse the hill. Trophy systems are clutch to stop enemy grenades and flashbangs from clearing you off the point. And your secondary? Maybe a shorty or launcher for those close-quarters fights where every bullet counts. Your loadout is less about flashy kills and more about controlling space and surviving the long grind of a hardpoint match. 4. You control the tempo of the hill. One of the biggest differences between a clutch god and an average player in Hardpoint is how they manage the tempo of fights. You don't just rush the hill and hope for the best. You manipulate how and when fights happen. When you're solo holding, you don't try to take on the whole enemy team at once. Instead, you play smart angles, use cover effectively, and bait enemies into isolated fights. You might back off just enough to force them to push through choke points one at a time. You reposition constantly, using jump spots, head glitches, or ledges to reset fights and avoid getting overwhelmed. You're a master of patience and timing, controlling the pace so the enemy team feels pressure instead of the other way around. Controlling the flow of the hardpoint is a massive key to clutch success. 5. You have the mindset to lock in every time. Finally, the biggest sign of a clutch god in Hardpoint is your mental game. This mode is chaotic and fast-paced, so it's easy to get tilted when you get rushed or wiped. But if you're a clutch player, you don't let that get to you. You lock in. You thrive on the pressure of holding the hill solo or clutching the final push. You don't blame teammates or lag. You focus on what you can control. Your play, your positioning, your mindset. Even when you're last alive with seconds left on the clock, you believe you can win the fight, and that confidence helps you perform at your best. That unshakable mental toughness? It's what separates clutch gods from the rest in Hardpoint. So there you have it. 5 signs you might just be a clutch god in Call of Duty Mobile Hardpoint. If you've been that player who can hold down a hill against all odds, or you want to get there, start focusing on these skills and mindset. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and drop a comment below telling me your craziest clutch moment in Hardpoint, or what video you want to see next. Thanks for watching, legends, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Targets in sight. Mission accomplished.